Okay, Shabab, يعني if you remember in this section now, 4.1, we did a couple of points. We defined the meaning of local maximum, local minimum, absolute maximum, absolute minimum. And we call the absolute maximum, absolute minimum the extreme values. And the local maximum, local minimum, or relative maximum, relative minimum called local values. Okay, and we saw the relation between them. We said any absolute maximum will be a local maximum if it does not appear at the endpoints. Because we observe sometimes the maximum, I mean the absolute maximum or absolute minimum may appear at the endpoints or in an interior point, at an interior point inside the domain. If it is at the interior point, we call it local also. If not, if it is at the endpoint, we call it only extreme values. Then we said that what is our target? Our target to locate these points. We need to locate the absolute maximum, absolute minimum, local maximum, local minimum. And we started, the first step is by graphing. If we graph the function, if it is easy to be graphed, then we will be able to find these points. The problem here that not all functions are easy to be graphed. So we go to theory now. The theorem says, the first theorem says, if we have a closed interval, a continuous function, I will guarantee for you that there is an absolute maximum, an absolute minimum, but it did not tell us anything how to find out these points. Then by graphing, etc., we observe that these points, the maximum and minimum, the local maximum, local minimum, usually appear at two special points, either if the derivative is equal to 0 or if the derivative does not exist. And we call these points or these numbers at which the derivative is 0 or does not exist and they are inside the domain, yani part of the graph, we call them critical numbers. And that was the last point we discussed. How to find critical numbers? We said a critical number is a number inside the domain of the function, واحد, اثنين, and the derivative of the function at that number is either equal to 0 or does not exist. We did an example. Today, I will solve more exercises about this, and then we will see how to find out the absolute maximum, absolute minimum. And if we have time, we will move to another section called the mean value theorem, which is the very important theorem in mathematics. I don't know. Let's come to this question here. The question is a continuation of the last exercise we did. Find all critical numbers of this function. What should we do to find out the critical numbers? Last time we said we need to find the derivative of it. Now, what is the derivative of this? F prime of x. The answer will be, it is 5 times 2 over 3. I take the exponent down, multiplied by x to the power 2 over 3 minus 1, that is minus 3 over 3, that is minus 1/3, okay, plus 5 over 3 times x to the power what? 5 over 3 minus 3 over 3, that is 2 over 3. Okay, that is the expression f prime. What I will advise you in the exam, if you are working out a question like this, is to simplify it before looking for the zeros and the points where the derivative does not exist. So what I will do here, I will take some common factors. لاحظوا 5 over 3 is a common factor, isn't it? We have 5 over 3, 5 over 3. I take the greatest common factor between x and x to the power 2 over 3, x to the power minus 1/3 and x to the power 2 over 3. I will take the least power here, minus 1/3. Now, what is remaining inside? I have x to the power minus 1/3 will be deleted, 5 over 3 will be deleted. I have only 2 will survive in the first term, plus. In the second term, 5 over 3 will be taken common factor, so I have x to the power 2 over 3 divided by x to the power minus 1 over 3. That is equal to x to the power 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3, which is x to the power what? 3 over 3, which is equal to 1. So, which is equal to, sorry, x to the power 1. So that is only x here, isn't it? So this is what will happen after simplifying. Now you can see it is now easy to deal with. It is very simple to deal with. It is very simple now to locate the points where the derivative is 0 or the points where the derivative does not exist. Any question before I go to find out these points? I find the derivative, I simplified it only. طيب, now I need to discuss two cases. I need to discuss two cases. The first case. Now, if a prime of x equal to 0, طبعا this implies شنو equal to 0 الآن؟ I have 5 over 3. Okay, let me write it down. 5 over 3 times x to the power minus 1/3 times 2 plus x is equal to 0. And this will give me that only x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay? And that is x equal to what? X equal to minus 2. So that is the answer for the part where the derivative is equal to 0. Should I accept this one as a critical number? Should I accept it, or I need to check something here? Always you need to check that this is inside the domain, and it is inside the domain. Actually, the domain of the function is all real numbers because the index of the radical is odd. So it is always defined. Okay? طيب, الشغلة الثانية الآن, if prime of x does not exist. الجزء الثاني الآن في الحال صحيح. If prime of x does not exist implies what? X equal to what? X equal to أحسنت, X equal to 0. لأن هذه cubic root with a negative sign it will be 1 over cubic root of x. That does not exist if the denominator is equal to 0, so that will give me x equal to 0. السؤال الآن, is this number x equal to 0 inside the domain? I will write this one inside the domain of the function, and this one inside the domain of the function. So the conclusion will be f has two critical numbers that are x equal to 0 and x equal to minus 2. Any question, please? Any question? طيب يا دكتور الآن كل شوية تقولنا inside the domain يعني sometimes the number will be outside the domain. Yeah, that is usually the trick in the final. Sometimes they give you a function and you locate the points and you forget to check that these are inside the domain, and unfortunately maybe some of them or one of them will be outside the domain of the function. To address this point, let us find critical numbers of x plus 1 over x. الآن f prime of x clearly is equal to what? 1 من يقول minus 1 over x squared. جميل. طيب, let us simplify it as we said in order to find the points where this is equal to 0 or does not exist. لاحظوا the common denominator is x squared. So I have here x squared minus what? Minus 1. Now I need to discuss two possibilities. The first one, the derivative of x, the derivative of the function at a point x is equal to 0. And this will lead us to the following. To x squared minus 1 equal to 0. And I think it is very simple for you to see that x will be plus or minus 1. واحد. Okay, if a prime of x does not exist, of course, I will have here x equal to 0. Maybe in the final, they will tell you the number of critical numbers of this function is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one is the correct answer? Is it a 3? I need to be careful here. I need to check now. Are these two numbers inside the domain? Yes, these are inside the domain of the function. So I can say that x equal to 1 and x equal to minus 1 are both critical numbers. But x equal to 0 is not part of the domain. This is not part of the domain. This does not belong to the domain of the function f. What is the conclusion here? This implies F has only what? Two critical numbers, namely x equal to +1 and -1. واضحة النقطة هذه يا شباب؟ We need to check that the numbers gained are inside or achieved are inside the domain of the function. If they are not inside the domain of the function, then we cannot say these are critical number. Okay يا شباب? Any question please if you have any question? Any question يا شباب? No questions. طيب نرجع على الملاحظات حقنا السابقة. Our observation last class, we observed that local maximums and local minimums usually appear if what? If the derivative is equal to 0. يعني I have a shape like this مثلا. So I have here the derivative is equal to 0. Or I have it downstairs like this. So I have a local minimum here. The derivative is equal to 0. But also we observe that sometimes the local maximum, local minimum appears at a point where the function is not differentiable like this. There is a corner here. هذه الآن تلخص لنا القضية هذه. شو تقول؟ تقول if f has a local maximum or minimum at C, then I will tell you for sure C is a critical number. If there is any local maximum, local minimum, for sure C is a critical number. طبعا the other way around is not correct. بمعنى آخر, this theorem says if you are looking for local maximum, local minimum, the only thing you need to do is to find the critical numbers. But until now, I cannot guarantee for you there is a maximum or minimum, local maximum, local minimum. I can tell you only if there is any, it will be at these points. But you need to check. If you have a critical number, will it give a local maximum, local minimum or not? That will be, inshallah, tested in 4.3. Until now, we know that if there is any, it will be at the critical numbers. But if we have a critical number, does it mean that we have a local maximum, local minimum? No. Yesterday we said x cubed has a critical number, x equal to 0. But x equal to 0 is neither a maximum at x equal to 0. We do not have a maximum or minimum. Neither maximum nor local minimum at x equal to 0. إن شاء الله راح ناخذ mechanism if we have a critical number, how to test whether it has a maximum here or a minimum here. طيب يعني الآن ما وصلنا شيء. لا وصلنا. We said our target, if you remember, to find out absolute maximum, absolute minimum, local maximum, local minimum. By the end of the class today, which is now, by the end of this section, we will have a strategy how to find out the absolute maximum, absolute minimum. And yesterday I said 100%, you will have a question in the final ask you about this method here, which is called the closed interval method. شو تقول هذه المethod? Okay, what are the 3 steps we need to do here? It says, okay, I will tell you now how to find out the absolute maximum, absolute minimum values of a continuous function f over a closed interval. You remember the extreme value theorem. The extreme value theorem says if we have a function that is continuous over a closed interval, then there is an absolute maximum and there is an absolute minimum. Now, this method will tell us how to find them out. How to find them? The first one, it says find the values of f at the critical numbers inside the open interval. So find all critical numbers. واضح? Find the values at the endpoints. The last one, the last step. You check the maximum among these points will be called absolute maximum, and the smallest value among these values will be called what? Absolute minimum. خطوات سهلة جدا. Find the critical numbers, evaluate at the endpoints, and see What is the highest number? Will be called absolute maximum. What is the smallest number? Will be called absolute minimum. I will apply this in 3 questions. I will apply it in 3 questions. And I guess I have a bonus question today for you. Today is Thursday. We didn't put any bonus since a couple of, weeks, I guess. So today I will have a bonus question for you. That question heavily, or actually it is totally based on these 3 exercises. So try to understand now the 3 exercises and then check yourself with the bonus question that deserve 10 points. يلا نيجي للسؤال الأول. f of x is equal to x cubed minus 3x plus 1. I need to find the absolute maximum, absolute minimum over the closed interval 0, 3. I will do the first step. The first step says you need to find all critical numbers. All critical numbers. So I need to find the derivative here. That is 3x squared minus 3. طبعا the derivative is always defined now. So what I will do, only I will discuss the case when this is equal to 0. طبعا if you solve this, what do you have? 3 times x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. And this will lead you to the x equal to plus or minus 1. So these are the critical numbers. Both of them are inside the domain, or I need to be careful. لاحظوا يا شباب. لاحظوا يا شباب. x equal to 1 is inside the interval 0, 3. احنا قلنا نوجد the critical numbers في ال open interval. But what about x equal to minus 1? X equal to minus 1 does not belong to this interval 0, 3. So I will ignore x equal to minus 1. Okay? It is not included in my closed interval. It is not included in my open interval, sorry. طيب I will consider only x equal to 1. طيب الخطوة الثانية شلون؟ الخطوة الثانية يقول لك okay, what you need to do is to calculate the function at the end point. So what I will do here, myself, I usually prefer to make a table like this. I will write x here. I will write f of x. This method says go to the endpoints. The endpoints are 0 and 3, okay? And also the critical points. The critical points here, we have only one critical point, which is, or critical number actually. So it is equal to 1. I will make the table like this. Then I will come and evaluate the function at these points. I will take the point 0. I substitute x cubed minus 3x plus 1. I substitute 0. And you can see clearly the answer is equal to 1. If I substitute 1, I have 1 minus 3 plus 1. 1 minus 3, 1 plus 1 is 2, minus 3, that is equal to minus 1. But if I substitute 3, I have 27 minus 9 plus 1. That is equal to what? That is equal to 19. Now, who can tell me what is the absolute maximum? What is the absolute minimum?
f of 3 is the maximum, and f of 0 is the minimum. F of 1 is the minimum.
بعض الأخطاء اللي تصير يجي طالب يقول والله maximum خلاص هي الثلاثة هذه الماكسيمم. This is not the maximum.
We don't have a maximum.
Why you don't have a maximum?
Because 3 at the end point.
No.
Absolute maximum, I mean. Absolute
Yeah,
maximum, I mean.
It is absolute, isn't it? We are looking for absolute now, not local. We are looking for absolute maximum. الجواب هو absolute maximum is, absolute maximum is equal to what? Absolute maximum is, in this case, 19. That is the highest number. And absolute minimum is equal to what? Is equal to minus 1. Now, بعض الطلاب يقول له find the absolute maximum. يقول لك الماكسيمم هو 3 و19. This is not true. This is not true because the maximum is a value. It's not a point. It is a value. قيمة إلى الواي يعني. Okay. البعض يخطأ تقول له find the sum of the maximum and the minimum. يجي في اختبار النهائي. يقول له find the maximum and the sum of the maximum value and the minimum value of this function is equal to. ياخذ لك وين؟ ياخذ لك الواحد ياخذ لك الثلاثة يجمعهم يقول الناتج 4. These are not the maximum, not the minimum. هذه النقاط تظهر عندها الماكسيمم. قد يكون f of 1 equal to minus 10 minus 100 minus 20 وهكذا. The maximum is the y value, not the x value. The x value is the point where the maximum is achieved or where the minimum is achieved. على العموم this is just a point, keep it in mind. سؤال آخر الآن دالة كسرية rational function. How to find the absolute maximum and absolute minimum. نفس القضية. I will try to find f prime of x. طيب this is a rational function. لازم تفهم chapter 3 كله chapter 3 لازم تفهم. In order to understand chapter 4 you need to understand chapter 3 first. So we need to use the quotient rule here. The quotient rule says you need to differentiate the numerator first, that is 2x, multiplied by the denominator, that is x squared plus 4, minus derivative of the denominator is 2x times the numerator, that is x squared minus 4. Okay, divided by everything downstairs here, x squared plus 4 all squared. Okay, fine, let us simplify. I have 2x times x squared, that will give me 2x to the power 3 plus 2x times 4, that is 8x. بعد كده minus 2x times x squared, 2x cubed. Then minus 2x times minus 4, that will give me what? Plus 8x divided by x squared plus 4 all squared. جميل. يلا نبسط أكثر من كده. ايش يطلع عندي الآن؟ This is equal to يعني f prime of x. This implies f prime of x is equal to. لاحظوا يا شباب, if you just simplify the numerator, you have 2x cubed minus 2x cubed. So I have 16x only appears there. And I have x squared plus 4 all squared. تمام. طيب if I make this one equal to 0, هذا يعطيني نتيجة واحدة فقط ان x equal to what? Equal to 0. طيب واحد يقول انت الان قاعد تهمل القضية الثانية. لا تنسى ان f prime does not exist. شو نقول له؟
It's always exist.
It is always exist. I am not ignoring, but I am observing that this one is always defined. لأن المقام مستحيل يساوي 0. x squared plus 4 is always positive. It cannot be 0. يعني I have only one critical point. Let me see if I make a space here or I can write the answer directly here. Okay, let us write it down here because we have only one critical number. So what the procedure says, the strategy says, you need to locate these points, x, f of x. So what you need to do is to locate the critical numbers and the endpoints. The endpoints minus 4, I have minus 4, then I have a critical number 0, then I have 4. I need to evaluate the function at each number of these points. نبدأ بالصفر أسهل. At 0 we have what? We have minus 1. We have minus 1. طيب at 4 and minus 4 they are the same because the function actually given here is even function. فلما أعوض بالأربعة شو يصير عندي؟ 16 minus 4 is 12. 16 plus 4 is 20. So divided by 4, this is equal to what? Divided by 4, that will be 3 over 5. Okay. So both of them will be 3 over 5 here and 3 over 5 here. So what is the absolute maximum? The absolute maximum is equal to 3 over 5. And clearly it appears at two different points. It appears at minus 4 and 4. طيب, what about the absolute minimum? The absolute minimum is equal to what? Is equal to minus 1. واضح السؤال يا شباب؟ طيب ممتاز. الآن نجي إلى سؤال تحبوه كثير. Sine, cosine, و logarithmic function. Sine and cosine and logarithmic function. Find the absolute maximum, absolute minimum of the sine x plus cosine x over the interval 0 pi over 3. هل في أحد من الشباب يستطيع يحل السؤال بدون الديريفيتيف؟ بدون الديريفيتيف؟ جاكم هذا في 002. مر عليكم.
باي اوفر 4.
لا مش باي اوفر 4. باي اوفر 4 انت تتكلم عن الزاوية. Yeah, at pi over 4 you mean the answer is at pi over 4 maybe. لا أنا أبغى الجواب مباشرة. What is the maximum? What is the mean? What is the maximum of this at least?
I think tangent.
مرت عليكم شغله يسموها الريدكشن ايدنتيتي، انك تكتبوا هاي على شكل k sin x plus الفا، مو صحيح؟ where k is equal، هذا في كورونا،
راح
في
يكون
كورونا
1
شو اسمه، هذا عباره عن a square plus b square where a and b are the coefficient of the sine and the cosine. معناتها الماكسيمم يطلع جذر 2، يعني يطلع راديكال 2 لان 1 plus 1 squared squared will be 2 under square root، وهذا هو الامبليتيود حق الداله. على العموم مو شغلنا الان، بس هذا اذكركم انه مر عليكم في 002 لو ما حبينا نستخدم الديريفيتيف. الان راح نامن على الكلام هذا بالديريفيتيف ان شنو تتذكروها هذه صح؟ اذكركم فيها. يلا f of x راح يقول ايش ذكرنا، هذا كان في الترم حق كورونا والواحد خلاص هناك كان مو مركز ونسي كل شيء. هذه اذا تتذكروا يا شباب كنتوا تكتبوها على شكل k sin x plus alpha. الكي عباره عن radical of a square plus b square. طيب والالفا نعرف ان ساين الفا يساوي معامل الكوساين b over k، والكوساين الفا تاخذ معامل الساين اللي هي a over k. هذه مر عليكم درس كامل في 002 اسمه reduction identity. reduction identity ممكن نحل السؤال باستخدام الريدكشن identity. I will not use it because this is not our target today, is not our purpose. خلاص راح امسحها هذه فقط للتذكير، انا كتبتها الان. اوكي يلا خلونا نطبق الديريفيتيف in order to find the maximum and the minimum. The procedure here, the closed interval method. I need to find the derivative of the function. What is the derivative of the function? What is f prime of x? Yes? Cosine of x minus sine of x. طيب if I make this is equal to 0, this will give me tangent of x is equal to 1. مثل ما قال زميلكم الجواب راح يكون x equal to what? Pi over 4. يعني the critical number is only pi over 4. راح يقول بس فقط الباي over 4؟ لا في كثير، لكن احنا نتكلم عن الفترة هذه 0 إلى باي على 3. وإلا التانجنت of x equal to 1 عندك احتمالات. الاحتمال الأول يكون باي over 4 here صحيح، and all coterminal angles to pi over 4. الاحتمال الآخر يكون 5 pi over 4 pi over 4 plus 2 by k يعني all coterminal angles. So all angles terminates at this position and all angles terminates at pi over 5 pi over 4. All will give you tangent is equal to 1. لكن بما أن احنا نتكلم عن الفترة فقط من 0 إلى باي على 3, so the answer will be what? The answer will be only pi over 4. جميل. Pi over 4 is inside the interval given. ممتاز. What is the maximum? What is the minimum? الطريقة تقول ما عليك إلا أنك تاخذ هذه الأشياء توضعها في جدول. Something like this. You write x here. You write y. Maybe I make it a little bit large. Okay. So I need to substitute first the endpoints. I will substitute the 0 point. I will substitute the critical numbers. We have only one critical number here, which is pi over 4. And I will substitute the other endpoint, which is pi over 3. Okay, substituting now 0. What do you get? If you substitute 0, you have sine 0 plus cosine 0. Sine 0 is 0, cosine 0 is 1, so this is equal to 1. At pi over 4, you have sine pi over 4, that is radical 2 over 2, plus cosine pi over 4, also radical 2 over 2. When you simplify, the answer will be radical of 2. طيب at pi over 3, what is the answer? What is the answer at pi over 3? Sine pi over 3, sine 60 degrees is radical 3 over 2. Cosine radical 3 is 1/2. The answer will be radical 3 plus 1 divided by 2. طبعا واحد يقول والله احنا في الاكزام النهائي ما في كالكوليتر، ايش دراني والله راديكال 2 اكبر، والله راديكال 3 بلس 1 اوفر 2 اكثر. Of course in the final they will give you smooth numbers لكن هذا تقريبا يساوي 1.4 تقريبا. الراديكال 3 تقريبا 1.7 لما اضيف معاه واحد يصير 2.7. If I divide by 2 تقريبا كم يساوي 1.35. So radical 2 is larger than radical 3 plus 1 over 2. Even if I do not have a calculator, I can judge and say this one here is the absolute maximum. Okay? And what is the absolute minimum? Of course, the number one here is the absolute minimum. So the function f has an absolute maximum equal to radical 2 as we found by the reduction formula, and absolute minimum is equal to 1. وهقول طيب بالreduction formula يطلع لنا المينيمم minus radical 2. هل في تناقض مع الحل هنا؟ Is there any contradiction with our solution here? Can anybody elaborate more on this?
دكتور معليش بس
في الفورمولا هناك طلع عندنا الفانكشن هذه عباره عن radical 2 في sin x plus alpha. فلو كنا في 002 قالنا find the range of the function راح اقول له من minus radical 2 الى radical 2. ليش طلع عندنا واحد هنا ما طلع عندنا minus radical 2؟ ليش؟ Because we are not taking the full picture here. We are only concentrating where? Between 0 and pi over 3. مثلا لو رسمنا الساين فانكشن هذه الساين فانكشن زي كده. الساين فانكشن محصوره بين minus 1 and 1. But if you take it from 0 to pi over 3, will it also be between minus 1 and 1? No. It will be between 0 and the image at pi over 3. So that's why also here we have the minimum is 1, not minus 1 or not minus radical 2, because we are not taking the full picture. We are taking only part of the graph of the function. آخر سؤال على النقطة هذه وآخر سؤال في الدرس لكن أعطيكم بعد كده bonus question. f of x equal to len of x over x. Len of x over x between 1 and 3. We need to find the absolute maximum and absolute minimum. So the first step, I will find the derivative of the function. F prime of x is equal to derivative of the numerator is 1 over x times the denominator that is x minus the numerator len of x times the derivative of x is equal to 1 over x squared. And this is equal to
المايك خبان.
Is it now not clear also?
الحين كويس.
ممتاز. اعتقد النت هو مش المايك لكن ممكن النت قطع على لحظات يعني. Okay, 1 over x times x. Let me repeat this. The derivative of len x is 1 over x. The derivative of x is equal to 1. Sorry, the times the second one, which is x. Minus the first one, which is len of x. Derivative of x is equal to 1. Over the second one squared. Now, if I simplify this, I have 1. Let me see if you are writing something in the chat here. Yeah, sure, yeah, Nawaf. Yes, I agree with that. Minus len of x divided by x squared. Okay, if I make f prime of x equal to 0, f prime of x equal to 0, I have the numerator is equal to 0. So I have len of x is equal to 1. Tamam. And this will give me x equal to e to the power 1. E يعني e to the power 1, which is equal to e. طيب. F prime of x does not exist implies that x equal to 0, but this is outside the domain of the function. It's not inside the domain of the function. So I have only one critical number. طيب هذا الcritical number x equal to e. Is it between 1 and 3? Is it between 1 and 3? The answer is yes, because e is 2.7.
Yes.
So what I will do now, again, I will make a table. It's up to you if you need to make a table or you evaluate outside a table. It's not important for you to make a table. But for me, to organize my work, I put it in a table. So I will put 1 here, I put e here, I put 3 here, and I will calculate, and according to the procedure we are doing, the maximum among these will be called absolute maximum, and the minimum will be called absolute minimum. نعوض بالواحد يصير عندي ln of 1 over 1. ln of 1 is 0 over 1, that is equal to 0. واضح؟ نعوض بالاي يطلع ln e over e. ln الاي 1 فيصير ln e over e is 1 over e. السؤال الآن what about 3? It will be ln of 3 over 3. ln of 3 divided by 3. I need your help now. I need your help. Which one is طبعا 0 is the minimum clear هذه. Okay. 0 is the minimum clear. But which one of them is larger? 1 over e or ln of 3 over 3?
ln over 3 over 3.
1 over 8.
equal.
What is it equal to تقريبا هذه 1 over e. Yes. من يحسب لنا اياها بالكالكوليتر 1 divided by e يطلع تقريبا 0. what
36.
انا غلطان يعني 0 مو كذا
غلط.
تاكدوا انه من الحساب
0.36.
is it 0.2 okay I will believe you okay
36.
مباشرة ما في 0 ثاني يعني
Yes.
ايه
يعني 0.36 كذا okay what about ln of 3 over 3
The same.
exactly the same هذه
The-
تطلع
The
خلينا
decimals of 1 over a is bigger.
0.3 this is 6 صحيح
Yes.
Yes, and the first
1
one is
over
6,
a is
4. What about this?
367.
6.7.
Okay. معناها ان this one is the absolute maximum. طبعا we don't expect something like this in the final. We need to have smooth numbers in the final. And this is the absolute what? This is the absolute minimum. كده يكون انتهينا من الدرس الطويل هذا 4.1. It is very interesting, lengthy question section, but it is very simple section. It involves many, let me say, definitions, theorems, etc. So I hope now you understand the idea. I would like to give you a bonus questions. As I said, since long time I didn't give any bonus. من يستطيع يجيب لي الماكسيمم حق هذه؟ Okay. This is a question came before in a final exam. This is a final exam question. صحيح هو موجود لكن it is a final exam question. Can you find out for me the absolute maximum of this function in the simplest form and get the full credit for 10 points bonus 10 points bonus in your classwork grades?
Doctor,
Yes.
why this question?
Find the maximum. نفس الفكرة يعني نفس
Even
الأفكار.
like previous numbers.
When you buy previous numbers.
Like the question we solved.
تبغى أعطيك سؤال من اللي حليناه تحله مرة ثانية يعني؟
Change the what time?
بونص يعني سؤال يعني له قيمة يعني. صحيح؟
I need bonus دكتور.
Do it please. It's not difficult by the way. دالة كثيرة حدود هذه. فقط فيها parameters A و B. تخوفك يعني ال A وال B. أعداد هذه ال A will be constants. ال A will be constants. يلا حلوا السؤال ارسلوا لي اياه في
1 at 0.
اللي يوصل لاجابه نهائيه يرسل لي اياه على الجروب. اعطيكم وقت كافي عندي 10 دقائق ما ابغى امشي انا للسكشن الجديد. اعطيكم 5 دقائق الى الحل وترسل لي اجابتك. وهذا بيكون مفتوح اي واحد يجيب لي الاجابه النهائيه في السمبلست فورم صحيحه ياخذ 10 درجات. يلا مو واحد فقط.
دكتور هذا سؤال مليون A بلس.
It's not difficult one.
دكتور،
ايوه
هي فكرتها ان تصير عندنا معدلتين، معدل الاي معدل البي.
لا 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 ما في لا معادلتين ولا شيء. هي الفكره فيها انك تعمل simplification فقط بعد ما تعمل الخطوات فقط.
دكتور معلش بس برسل
يا ارسل لي، كل واحد يرسل اللي وصل لاجابه يرسل، وانا راح اشيك على الاجابات بعد الكلاس بعد ما احل السؤال امامكم الان. واي واحد جاب لي الاجابه الصحيحه لا اعطيه درجات، اللي وصل لاجابه طبعا. يلا انا على 45 راح ابدا احل السؤال.
دكتور
يس.
هل ممكن اني اقدر اطلع الارقام ولا مستحيل؟
مو ارقام، هي في النهايه بتكون بدلاله الاي والبي. يلا باقي لكم دقيقتين محاوله. هو فعلا هذا السؤال كان A plus question in the final. Yes, it was an A plus question in the final.
دكتور
شوف يا شباب I don't like final answers from somewhere else. From من اللي ارسل لي الجواب الان؟ f of a over a plus b equal to a to the power a b to the power b. اللي ارسل لي الجواب جوالي ينتهي 9455. Can you speak with me? I do not accept answers like this. انا ما قلت لك تروح تجيب لي اياها من مكان ثاني. I needed to solve it. من المريخ يعني جا العدد هذا a over a plus b. Where is the detail? What are the details? Send me a detailed solution if you need a credit.
يا دكتور
يلا تفضل عزيزي، تقدر توضح لي
بس-
حلك؟
لا مو بان ارسلها.
لا أنا أبغى اللي جواله ينتهي 9455. I don't like to mention the name. I need him to speak. I have the name. I have the name.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah,
It's
can
me.
you explain for me from where you get A over A plus B and how did you get this final answer?
Okay, so I sent another picture explaining the steps because I
No,
wrote
I
in.
need you to explain for me now. Forget about the pictures and speak and tell me how to find it out.
Okay, when you simplify the equation,
Just tell me step by step what should I write? Yes. Did you solve it by yourself, by the way? Be honest, please.
yeah, I did solve it myself. I'm honest. والله يا دكتور.
Okay, just explain for me, Ayman.
لا أنا يوسف.
No, I'm not talking with the Yusuf.
No, my name
I'm
is
talking
Yusuf.
about Al-Garni Ayman. Is he around 25190? طيب. Yusuf, you are sending the last picture here.
No,
I'm not talking about. No, I'm not talking about you, Yusuf. No.
Okay.
طيب. الجواب صحيح أرسل أيمن لكن I don't see any details ولهذا I don't accept answers without details. I'm not looking for answers from slider or from manual solution. I'm not looking for this. I need you to do it by yourself. على العموم. Let us solve it and I will show you how the answer will be the magic number you send me, Ayman. Let A and B are positive numbers. Find the maximum value of this. To find the maximum value of this, okay, what I will do here, I will find the derivative, f prime of x. This is equal to. طبعا the derivative of the first one will be a x to the power a minus 1 times the second one 1 minus x to the power b plus the first one is x to the power a. The derivative of the second one is b times 1 minus x to the power b minus 1 times a minus sign coming from the inside bracket here. So there is a minus sign here. What I will do, I will take common factors. The common factor here is x to the power a minus 1, that is with the smallest power, times 1 minus x all to the power b minus 1. What is inside is this? Is a times 1 minus x minus طبعا x to the power a divided by x to the power a minus 1, that is equal to, that is x to the power 1. Okay? And b to the power minus 1 will be to the power minus 1 will be cancelled out. I have only a multiplication by b in the second term. So this will be b times x. Now, if I make this is equal to 0, then I have the following. I have a minus ax minus bx must be equal to 0. So I have to find x here. So I have a times, I will take x common factor. I will take it to either side and take x common factor. I have a plus b is equal to a. And x here is equal to a over a plus b. I cannot see any short way to find this magic number without doing this calculation. واحد. And okay, I found this a over a plus b. I have it between 0 and 1. Of course, a over a plus b is between 0 and 1. These are positive numbers. A أصغر من المجموع أكيد. فلازم يكون بين 0 and 1. So what should I do now? According to our procedure, I will evaluate f of 0 بداية الفترة صحيح؟ f of 0 will be 0. If you substitute, it will be 0. f of 1 also will be 0. تمام؟ فهذه الابسوليوت مينيمم. absolute maximum راح أعوض بالكريتيكال نمبر الآن f of a over a plus b. And this is equal to, أجي أعوض الآن في الدالة x to the power a هذا المقدار to the power a يعني a over a plus b all to the power a. هذا معنى x to the power a. طيب 1 minus x to the power b يعني بيصير 1 minus this number a over a plus b all to the power b. على اساس ابسط المقدار هذا this is what I need to do. هذا بيصير a to the power a over a plus b to the power a times what about the second one? It will be a plus b minus a all over a plus b. وحتى المقامات أنا الآن all to the power b. لاحظوا ال a مع ال a تختصر فيصير عندي هنا شنو؟ b to the power b over a plus b all to the power b. تمام. This is equal to what now? This is equal to a to the power a times b to the power b. That is the first one. And downstairs we have a plus b all to the power a plus b. نجمع الأسس وبشكل كده يكون وصلنا الإجابة النهائية. And this is the absolute maximum. This value is the absolute maximum and 0 is the absolute minimum. So that is the solution. That is the complete solution. If you send me something like this, then you deserve 10 points. That is what I mean by solving and sending the solution. طيب يا شباب, yes please.
كيف فكيت القوس 1 minus a over a plus
نوحد
b؟
المقامات أول.
اوكي
اللي
اوكي.
هذه a plus b. فبقى عندي الواحد يصير a plus b ناقص a all to the power b. هذه ال a مع ال a تختصر فيصير عندي b to the power b على a plus b to the power b. هذا السؤال جاء سابقا في final exam كسؤال a plus questions. It is a question in the book actually. It's not difficult one. It is maybe it needs some simplification skills, but it is not difficult. This is question number 63 in the book, and this is the full solution. I will inshallah post this section for you directly, inshallah after the class, after I finish a meeting with the dean, inshallah. At 2 o'clock maybe I will post the section. Okay, that's it for today. That's it for this week. Have a nice weekend. Good luck in your inshallah studies, and we'll meet you inshallah on Sunday to continue the job of finding absolute maximums, absolute minimums, local maximum, local minimums, and etc. Okay.
جزاك الله خير دكتور.
حياكم الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.